have mercy. The Lord is my shepherd. He know what I want.
There's no nobility in poverty. I have been a rich man and I have been a poor man, and I choose rich every fucking time. Because at least as a rich man, when I have to face my problems, I show up in the back of a limo wearing a $2,000 suit and a $40,000 gold fucking watch.
You didn't put in on this, man.
Better get a receipt, my brother.
TrusteeMentors.com. If you signed up for this class, make sure you log in to TrusteeMentors.com with the password, because if you got any questions, you're going to want to put them in the chat. And it's really simple as that. Check in the class, put it in the chat. It's that simple. Peace and love, peace and love. How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? This that chill hop, man. Some people call it lo-fi. I call it jazz hop. That's what I call it. Like, you got the hip hop mixed with the jazz. If you check out the song Swag by THEDONKILAM, swag, see winning always game. It means I'm always winning, because it's always game time. Look it up. And that's what I call jazz hop. You follow? But let's get started. It's like 1 minute away. I'm getting started. I'm on time. I follow instructions. I'm not always on time, but I follow instructions. I reads, baby. Disclaimer is, I'm not a licensed attorney or tax expert. I do this for educational and informational purposes only. Look, so no one thing without a doubt what I believe. The so-called system has to abide by the words, has to abide by rules, has to abide by codes. So it's important to understand what's going on with the codes, understanding what's going on with the rules, and things of those natures, okay? It's important to understand the paperwork game, contract law. We're raised and brought up in a system that believes paperwork, that believes certifications. You follow me? That's the system that they're raised on, that we're raised on, that we live in. Paperwork, certification, titles, everything is contract law, trust law, all right? But we'll just stick with contract law today. Everything is contracts. She says, I'm already dropping gems, and that's a fact. I appreciate that. Yeah, so contracts, and it's important that you understand where certain powers are derived from, and when you follow the paper trail, because everything has a paper trail in this system. In this system, there's a paper trail. All right. And we're transitioning into a different system as we speak right now. But right now, we're still in this paper trail system, and all you have to do is demand proof of claims. Who's your authority? Where's the power? Get to the answers, because you're deemed to have given your power away. So first of all, you need to prove where your power comes from. You need to learn your history and learn who you truly are. And that's with anything in this court system, not just child support. But I want child support, if you truly understand it and break it down, it's going to open up your eyes to a whole spectrum of fraud that's going on in the courtrooms today. And it's no different between a child support or a speeding ticket. You follow me? There's no difference. There's no true due process, all right? You got to understand what due process is. Now I'm gonna pull up my book. I'm going right from my book. Child support opened up my eyes to a lot of things. It's monkey see, monkey do, I believe. And this realm that we live in, we want to fit in with people. We want to fit in with things. And there was no different in my life growing up. And at the age of 17, I impregnated. She was a grown woman. You know what I'm saying? She was grown. Over 4 years older than me. But I impregnated a woman. So before I turned 18, I got a child on the way. And then soon long after, another child with somebody else, and then child support. So with that being said, at an early age, I was focused on school, going to college. These are the things I was focused on. And I was taught to get a job, and I never would get a job because of child support. They would just take my check. And that's hard for any man to live. How can you make a living out here if you busting your ass 40 hours a week and they give you $50? You worked your ass all week for $50. That could be stressful. You don't know what to do. But I didn't let it stress me out. We're not going to talk about the activities that I've done to make money, but we will talk about the things that stuck with me. We won't even say lawful things, but we will say legal things. And with that being said, I learned how to be a independent contractor starting off. And then from independent contracting, they're like, you need to get an EIN, da-da-da-da-da. I started learning about EINs. So I started learning how to maneuver in and out the system, okay? But at the end of the day, child support is just because they can't take money from your check, it's still adding up. So I had to learn how to stop them. So in Missouri, Missouri is so sweet because I studied Missouri state statutes and codes, and it's nothing to make your child support $1 a month. That's so easy. If you're in Missouri and they're taking your check and they're really beating you over the head on a lot of things, listen, I can show you how to make it $1 a month. I've done it myself, okay? You gotta learn how to amend the contract. You can amend the contract right away. You follow me? You can show up. If you work for a business or create your own business, but contracts or payroll, you show that you work for them. You follow me? With that being said, you could put that you only make $50 a month yourself, that the business is only paying you $50 a month, and here's your check stub, and you can get it notarized because you're the business owner. Or somebody close to you, you can make them the authorized rep of the business. There's so many things you can do. So you make $50 a month. You send that in with the modification of child support. Bingo, $1 a month. It's not hard. It's not hard. If you're incarcerated, all you got to do is get a copy, have them certify a copy of whatever money you're getting on your books. And it doesn't matter if you're getting money from your family. That's considered a gift. They can't use that as income. You follow me? They can't use that as income. So they're going to use whatever you're making from your job, because you're considered a state employee when you're in prison or incarcerated. Whatever money, you just send them a copy of what's on your books, and they're going to drop it to $1 or $5 a month. Some people get hit with $50, so don't get upset if it gets dropped to $50, because that happens too. I want you to know, first when I ever got in child support, $1 a month. That's the first time my baby mama decided, that's the first time my son's mother, my oldest son's mother, quit talking to me. I'm like, I'm not paying child support. I'm taking care of you and him. Now, next. I don't know about you. You know, I told you I had kids at an early age, so, which ain't no excuse. You follow me? But at the end of the day, I was immature. Me and my kid's mom, we didn't get along. She wouldn't even let me see. I got a daughter. I never even got to see her. So look, check this out. Check this out. I didn't even get to see him. So, with that being said, I said, I'm not paying child support. I will figure it out. So, when you start understanding, and I'm going to go through my book, I'm going to go through the information I got, but these are the things that I need you to understand before I get into it. You got to understand the lingo. Look at the letters that they're giving you. Look at the verbiage, okay? They're labeling you a parent. That is a part of status correction. If you accept that letter, you accept that contract, you accept that title. I'm the father. A parent is a parent who rents. Now you're renting some property. Now your kid, your child is deemed property. And if you look up what the word kid means, that means baby goat. I need you to understand, I can't make these things up, man. Like, baby goat. Now look. A parent is a parent who rents. Child or children are property of a corporation. Okay? I need to let that sink in for a second. When you're born, your name's a sole proprietorship. That means you're liable for the business. That means if the business messes up, you mess up. And your body and your flesh is surety. Take your ass to jail is what's going to happen because you are the business. You follow me? I tell you to mind your business. Your mind is the business. You follow me? You are the business. So you got to learn how to start reading and understanding contract law and understand what's going on out here. Because listen, check me out. Check me out to my people. I'm going to break this down as simple as possible. If my name is Walgreens Pharmacy, okay? Hi, I'm Walgreens Pharmacy, and I'm selling crack cocaine. They're going to give me 30 days to cease and desist and get this drug off the shelf. But if my name is Pookie and I don't have an LLC, my ass is going to jail. No cease and desist letter, no warning, no. Do you understand? Let me know that makes sense in the chat. Let me know, let me know, let me know. All right. I'm glad y'all following along. So, understand, everything is contract law. Everything is trust law. He says, so turn your name into an LLC. I can't tell you what to do. It's a matter of what you understand. Because if you understand it, you won't even mess with the state. You might just operate all private trust. Because I know people that do that too. But if you're out here in commerce, and you really don't know too much, you're just a beginner, you need to learn how to operate your name as a business, as an LLC. You can have it taxed as a C Corp or an S Corp or a disregarded entity. There's so many different ways and levels of what you understand. Or you can just pour it off onto your holding company and have your holding company pour it off into the trust, and the trust is non-taxable. There's so many different ways. There's so many different ways to skin this cat. That's why you need to study. Get you a mastermind group, people that's doing this, or people that's already elevated. But I'm going to break down how I believe the best way to get out of child support. Okay? So, yes, I would turn my name into a LLC. Okay? Because a parent is a parent who rents. So who's going to be the parent company? Yes. So boom, when you hear the name Donald Trump, when you hear the name Michael Jordan, do you think they're moving millions in personal accounts? I'll wait. Come on, man. Your account gets flagged if you pull out anything over $5,000 in a personal account. You gotta understand that. But if you got a business account, you got a trust account, there's no limits. Like Master P. You follow me? So yes, your name is the business. When you hear the name Michael Jordan, that's a business. You hear the name LeBron James. You hear the name Rick Ross. Whatever makes sense to you. Listen, that's a business name. Those names are operating in commerce. And if you're working, You're operating in commerce. They're not paying you. You need to understand that. They're not paying you. They're paying the business. You provide the social. A social is what? A Social Security trust attached to the Social Security Trust Administration. So that is an accounting number. It's simple bookkeeping. Now, your name's the LLC. So where do your kid's name come into play? Should I make my kid's name an LLC? Well, you could, if that's what you choose to do. But the easiest way, I believe, I would make my name the LLC and the kid's name the DBA's, or if you're in Missouri or in other states, a fictitious name owned by the LLC. All right? So now who owns the so-called children? It's going to be the parent corporation. And who owns the parent corporation? Well, I'm the authorized manager or the authorized rep. We're not really sure who the owner is. We're the members and we make up the organization. I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Let me know that that makes sense, because I broke that down pretty fast. Pretty fast. The mind shaman said her mind blowing. All right, I see it. It says, does make sense. Got you. I'm glad it's making sense for everybody. So, everyone has the right to due process and to face their accusers. Everybody says it makes sense. Does everyone know what due process is? So, it's making sense. I'm going to look up the definition of due process, because I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. But my definition of due process is having your right in law. Brianna J says she just started studying due process today. That's the name of the book on Amazon by THEDONKILAM. Look it up. It says fair treatment through the normal judicial system, especially as a citizen's entitlement. I don't want to be entitled as a citizen though. But everyone has a right to due process and to face their accusers, all right? Child support is a case that is being heard without you there. This is fraud and violates your rights. All right? Understand the U.S. national debt. It exceeded $28 trillion in 2021. One thing that many people may not know is that the Social Security Trust Fund owns a significant portion of the national debt. And it's in two categories. The U.S. Treasury manages the U.S. debt through its Bureau of the Public Debt. $21 trillion is what they owe the people. Understand what 28 U.S.C. 3002 subsection 2 says. It says, unless it is created by Congress. Let me start over. All courts are banks. That's why they have clerks. Bench means bank. B-A-N-C in Latin. You got to understand. People get caught up on the spelling. Spelling is just spell casting. It's the sound. It's the sound. It's the sound. All right? How's it sound on the record? Benches are banks. All courts are tax courts, according to 28 U.S.C. 3002, unless it's created by Congress, and Congress has a valid case for you. The U.S. Department of Treasury is the bookkeepers for the United States corporation. Unless you record the return or the tax, then they cannot do the bookkeeping on it. That's why the Treasury's books are off balance and the payables and receivables are off balance, because they cannot pay the payables, which is due to the people. They cannot pay the people because they have not filed the correct paperwork to get the refund on the credit that they are giving away. Understand that. Now, understand the sole proprietorship. It's the simplest business form which one can operate a business. The sole proprietorship is not a legal entity. It simply refers to a person who owns the business and is personally responsible for its debts. All right, and it needs no legal distinction. All right. You do not need to file. You're automatically a sole prop as soon as you use your name in commerce. Due to the birth certificate. Now look, 28 U.S.C. 3002, definitions of court. Court means any court created by the Congress of the United States, excluding the United States tax court. Debt means an amount that is owed to the United States. Understand this. Security agreements. Understand. There's a lot of definitions. You should understand them all. On 28 U.S.C. 3002, person, property, security agreement, state. United States means federal corporation. 15A. Now, why is this important? Now, also note to mention, Section 10, person means corporation. Then again, this is why you're considered a sole prop corporation, and your body, labor, and even well-being can be attached as collateral for any mishaps of the business due to you not having proper standing by updating your status. All right? As your birth certificate is the title that shows beneficial ownership, so that is the private side. The public side is the money. How are you acting? What character or title are you acting from with a social? You are a slave, as socials work for the EIN, the employee identification number. Employees are slaves and employers are the masters, as a social security number works for the EIN. Let me know that that makes sense. The social security number always works for the employee identification number. So that means the social is the slave, the EIN is the master. The social is the slave, the EIN is the master in this system. Does that make sense? Comment that it makes sense. Now, from a limited liability company, you would act from a member. All right, yes, all right. I'm glad it's making sense. Now, so from an LLC, he says, wow. No, does it make sense? Let me slow up for a second because I see y'all commenting now. So from a LLC, you gotta understand this. You make your name an LLC. You would act from a member or an authorized representative or even a manager, okay? So to speak. With corporations, S Corps, C Corps, okay? You would act as president, vice president, because you got to understand, corporations have presidents and vice presidents. From the trust standpoint, you would operate from the grantor or administrator when dealing with your private affairs within a public play. This is a public play. This is a public game. It's not to be taken literally. Ain't no funds in your feelings. So why is this important when dealing with child support? Because a parent is a pair who rents. Children mean property of a corporation. So you are a corporation, and so is your children that belong to the United States Incorporation. Only a live man can state a claim to this property, so it's important to not be the business, but in control of the business. First, establish an EIN, which is free. I myself like to do irrevocable trust or just a regular EIN as an LLC as my name as the business. Get a virtual address. I like iPostal One, but I'm not sponsored by them. They should give me some money though. And voila, you have a business. Now, there's few different more steps to make it official and have a status change to have standing in your state and local jurisdiction. But go to your Secretary of State website, open up the LLC company within your state. Fees will be attached with this, but this will give you standing in law within that state. Secondly, open up a business name in your children's name owned by your new LLC company that you made your name. That's right, your name as a business will own your children's name. Remember, you believe they have power. They believe they have power due to publications. They believe they have power due to publications Because a corporation publicized some stuff and nobody counterclaimed it. Nobody rebuted it. Okay? Does that make sense? How else do they own you? You follow me? Because what you believe to be you has their logos and names on it. It's that simple. Publications. So, remember, you believe they have power due to publications. If you own the name, then they are violating copyright laws because you now own the name. What I do is make my children's name a doing business as name or a fictitious name in other states is called, and make it owned by the name that is now the LLC. The father's name LLC owns the children's name DBA. Another way is opening a Series Llc, and this is a little sophisticated. If you're new to business, do not worry about this. Bypass this part. But it's like when you open up a Series LLC, you can open up as many LLCs that's in the operating agreement, and it's only under one LLC, not all bank accounts. Really mess with them. Wells Fargo does though. I feel the first way is quicker and more efficient. There's always an admin process at first, but always have fun and always relax. Child support is the Tanf grant, and grant does not ever have to be paid back. Understand this. Tanf is what truly pays for child support and also part of the food stamp program in most states. Some of my knowledge and beliefs. All right. So soak up the knowledge, read it over and over till it makes sense. And me personally, once I send paperwork, I don't never go to court. If they send me any paperwork in the mail that isn't certified mail, I send it back and mark on it, refuse the contract, return the sender, all rights reserved, and block out my name since they are in violation of copyright laws by publishing my business name without permission. Now, that's the instructions pretty much. Make sure I'm in got the right information down here. Alright, so I send my cover letter I'm going to put on the court clerks. And reminding them of their job. Put on the court clerk. Alright, making sure we still good. Remind them of their job. Then I got an affidavit of fact. Alright? And the affidavit of fact, because once you got your business information attached, you're going to attach this with a blank W-9, okay? And your new business, all right? You might even have a security agreement in play. You might even make some money moves from business to business. You might even put demand for dismissal from the kid's name as the business and get that notarized. There's so many ways you can go, because you're showing you got power. Because once this is on the record, they can't say they have power. They're going to have to prove their authority because you've already proven yours. Does that make sense? If I prove I own this business and this is a business, I prove I have authority over it. Now they have to prove where they get their authority from over this case and these matters. Look, I can't tell you what to do, but check me out. If you're a father out there, is the mother's name a business? Have you thought about DBA in the mother's name? And if it is a business, just make it look similar. A DBA. However you do it, man. One initial in the middle. You know, John A. Doe. John S. Doe. Whatever makes sense to you. Where you feel comfortable and confident that you can express power because you've done enough study and know they have no authority. I hope that makes sense. They don't have no authority. There's so many ways to skin this cat here. There's no due process. Understand due process. If a judge hands down a judgment, you have a right to a jury trial, all types of stuff. How you getting put on child support? Wasn't no court. Where was you at? A hearing. Now you gotta pay a debt. And if you don't pay it, it goes against your credit report, right? You gotta understand what's going on, man. You gotta understand what's going on. The Affidavit of Facts is demanding dismissal, breaking down the violation of due process of law under the 5th and 14th Amendment, expedited process under 45 CFR 303.101C4. It's for the dismissal and discharge. Without time restraints for the support orders being used to deprive of the property. I always talk about equity. Everything's equity. Everything's property. It's that simple. Everything's equity. Everything is property. So 45 CFR 301. Let's look it up. It's the support hearings are expedited processes requiring due process and equal protection of law, followed by judicial review and confirmation before any support orders may be rendered to start the process of depriving property for child support. The judicial confirmation of support orders were not followed, rendering all support orders void without legal force. Child support must be proven by paternity testing or paternity acknowledgement without confirmed parties. Any support order is void without legal force. The support orders used to deprive property are in violation of due process and equal protection of law by presumptions. Presumptions are a violation of due process clause in the 14th Amendment by using state laws which violate the United States Constitution, the law of the land. The court's reliance upon any and all presumptions is a violation of the rights of due process of law. So you always challenge the due process of law. I'm challenging jurisdiction always. Subject matter jurisdiction. They have a jurisdiction. People go in there and look around and say, I don't recognize this jurisdiction. They're going to blame your ass because they got a jurisdiction. You got to challenge the subject matter. They don't have jurisdiction over the subject matter at hand. All right? You give them the jurisdiction. So, we want to see their oaths. We're going after the oaths. All right? We want to know where the power derives from. We know that they're judicial actors. They're really public servants. We're breaking down who the non-custodial parent, the obligor, definitions, and the due process affidavit. But presumptions may not be imposed if they injure rights protected by the Constitution. This is all case law. Now, under 45 CFR 303.101D2, evaluate evidence and make recommendations or decisions to establish paternity and to establish and enforce support orders. Whereas I understand there is no proof of paternity to establish a support order. They have to take testimony and establish a record. So we deny being afforded due process and equal protection of laws. Therefore, these child support terms are presumptions insinuating guilt, which the facts and lack physical evidence proves. These presumption terms are false, therefore must be removed from all recording, claiming, title, IV-A child support loans. All right, they're saying they gave you a child support loan, and this debt must be paid to a IVD state collection agency by income deduction or possible license suspension or incarceration may occur. Breaking down the whole fraud. That's why when you get this information, you need to read through it and really see what's going on, the whole fraud. And these are your rights that you didn't know you had. And they'll let you know, 45 CFR 303. except voluntary acknowledgement of paternity or support liability agreements regarding the amount of support to be paid. Whereas I understand there is no evidence of agreement for voluntary acknowledgement of paternity. They say, listen, when you sign these things, they're saying you acknowledge and agree whatever they deem to be reasonable. You're acknowledging this. You gave your rights over. And if you don't respond, you're giving your rights over. All right? This is Burden versus Georgia's due process and equal protection principle of the 14th Amendment prohibit punishing a person for his poverty. You can say you're in poverty. They can never make you pay anything. Suspending a driver's license is an unconstitutional administrative procedure by depriving rights to travel and hindering livelihood and forcing further into poverty. Courts must not use arrest warrants or license suspensions as a means of coercing the payment of court debt when individuals have not been afforded constitutionally adequate procedure protections. You got to get these things on the record. These are your claims, all right? I hope that's making sense. I mean, this goes on and on and on, but most people don't read it. So I just want to get in there and read it. Let them know. We're confident this court will immediately dismiss and discharge this matter with prejudice. Thank you. This is the certification. We're not praying. Nothing. People go in there, y'all praying to these men. Let your attorney pray. This is an emotion and we pray for relief. No. I demand for dismissal, demands for assertion of legal right. And this is with any court case. Letter rogatory for relief, we add. The notice of mistake is a little bit different than this. We do use the Trinity versus Pegliano because they cannot. It's a violation. An attorney for the plaintiff cannot admit evidence into the court. He is either an attorney or a witness. So you got the child support agency with the attorney. Are you an attorney or a witness? They're acting like a prosecutor. You follow me? I hope that makes sense. How you being a public servant in the government and trying to prosecute the public? You can't do that. Are you a witness or are you an attorney? We're asking for the oath of office, and when the powers arrive, always ask for the oath of office. Affidavit of Facts of special demeanor, and this is what's going to challenge that subject matter jurisdiction. And we're letting them know this is our objection into the horrific due process problems inherent in this case, as discussed in due process affidavit, non-waiver of arraignment document. All right. Recommends the court's good faith and effort to get newly discovered evidence on and for the record for reasons beyond the court's control. What is the state? What is the state? Special appearance, and we're only doing special appearance, is solely for the purpose of testing jurisdiction. A special appearance is for the purpose of testing service or jurisdiction of the courts. Someone asked me to repeat the case. You gonna have to buy the replay. $97. The law provides that once the state federal jurisdiction has been challenged, it must be proven. Once challenged, jurisdiction cannot be assumed. It must be proved to exist. The burden shifts to the court to prove jurisdiction. These are all case laws I'm reading from. I'm not saying all the case law, but I'll say one. Court must prove on the record all jurisdiction facts related to the jurisdiction asserted. Latana versus Hopper. Therefore, it is necessary that the record present this fact establishing the jurisdiction of the tribunal. Lowe versus Alexander. The burden shifts to the court to prove jurisdiction. Roseman versus Lambert. So, I mean, there's so many case files on once you challenge jurisdiction. Jurisdiction can be challenged at any time, and jurisdiction once challenged cannot be assumed and must be decided. Basso versus Utah Power and Light Company. Federal Rule 12H3 states that if the court determines at any time they lack subject matter jurisdiction, the court must dismiss the action. Defense of lack of jurisdiction over subject matter may be raised at any time, even on appeal. The case can be over. And that's like 4 pages. Challenging jurisdiction. Demand to dismiss. Affidavit. Demand to dismiss. We always file sui juris, alright? Never pro se, sui juris. Demand to dismiss due to reservation of rights and to public communication for all. Next, we do accept their claims in exchange for closure and a settlement. And we file a complaint. Promissory note. I give them a promissory note, promise to pay, because that's what they give you. They're giving you notes off their trust, promise to pay, because we're not backed by gold no more. Now, this is important, and this is according to 8 USC 1408. Letter of evidence of tax exempt foreign status. When you understand that's a tax issue, you want to make sure that you show that your foreign status and your tax exempt. Brady versus the U.S. I've never made with any knowingly intelligent acts any voluntary election under 26 USC 6013 or 26 CFR 1.871-4 to be treated as a U.S. resident alien for any purpose. Further, I have utterly no intention of making such election in the future. I am, as described in 26 USC 865G1B, a non-resident alien in the United States. I'm not a U.S. person. I'm not a taxpayer. I don't have a tax home within the U.S. And you attach that to the W-8 band. The W-8 band. Certificate of Foreign Status of Beneficial Owner for the United States Withholding and Reporting. Next, there's a certain way you do the Form 56 when dealing with child support. Just make sure you make the judge's name. The judge's name as the fiduciary. You're appointing the judge as the honor-bound, duty-bound fiduciary. And what the judge is going to be doing is handling the Tanf grants and 990. For the Tanf grants, it's Form 990. You let them fill it out for you. This is coming from a Social Security Trust, 1099 OIDs, and a birth certificate. Appointing honor-bound, duty-bound fiduciary to help offset national debt. Name the court address, name the case number. You're the managing member. It's that simple. Well, I'm the managing member when I'm doing it. Understand how to file the standard Form 28. That is a GSA bond. It's pretty, you look at it. If you look at it, it's got my information in there. Some stuff that I've actually used. Look at it. Fill it in for yours. For your situation. That's all you got to do. The Form 990 is grants and other assistance to organizations, governments, and individuals in the United States. Because we understand this is a grant. So we need to know what's going on. Here's a grant form. This is a tax issue. This is open to public inspection. It's that simple. Form 990. Send that to the child support people. They're like, what is this? Isn't child support a Tanf grant? The blank, the W-9, send them the blank W form, W-9. You're asking to see their EIN number because we're not playing their game. I'm not your slave. I got an EIN number. I need to see yours. Who are you? Who am I dealing with? Send them blank 1099 OID. That's what I would do. And that's it, man. That's the child support packet, along with the showing your name is the business. Your kid's name is the business. If you want to file a lien, you can file a lien. If that's what you want to do, since the Don is fire, I appreciate that. If that's what you want to do, you want to file a lien, you want to have your, listen, this is when it would make sense in court. I have an LLC, and these are DBAs. These DBAs owe me some money. I file a lien. They owe me before anything in the court, so the court can't even handle anything dealing with their issues. Does that make sense? Because they got to pay me first. So how am I in here? Because you got to understand, when you're in court, they're using your power, whatever forms you sign, whatever it may be, to enforce these things that's going on. So you got to learn how to do what they do. put the lien. My name is the LLC. I would put a lien against my children's name. I'm the parent company. The children's are the DBA. I would put, my LLC would put liens against the children's name. And then you can admit that as evidence. Hey, this is Exhibit A. This is why I don't owe child support. Got liens against my kids. What you mean? You can't even hear this in court. That's commercial law, contract law. That's why, if you don't understand that, that's why you need to get you a private mentor, private mentorship, people that's understanding this and understanding this. Serious bids. But I see I got some people in class. Let me know if y'all got any questions in my actual class. He said, "You dropping heat on them, bro. Earn my respect." I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Let me know if y'all got any questions. But that's it. Everybody that dropped a donation for this, I'm gonna give them a quick call. Make sure they're getting the information. But here's the directions. Okay, here's the directions. It says, for everyone y'all watching, DonKilam comes through when you drop them donation. He will over deliver. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So look, all documents need to be notarized. And DonKilam is gonna start helping. DonKilam is a notary. All right. I got people on my team that's a notary. Stamp and seal. You need whatever you need, man. We can get it all for you, man. Gold foils, all that, right? After you get it notarized, put a 2-cent stamp. I like 2-cent stamps because they're cheap. But if any value, make sure it has a value. Not no forever stamp. Just make sure it has a value. With a numeric value, not a forever stamp. Place it on the top right of documents. Autograph through the stamps. Autograph through the stamps. Autograph the back of your documents like a check. Every single document, you need to autograph it like a check. I autograph it. I put all rights reserved, authorized rep, put a date on it. All rights reserved without prejudice. Attach a Form 56, like the illustration. Attach a W-9, 1099 OID, and grant form 990. They are to be left blank. You can fill in the standard form 28 forms, or you can leave them blank. Because to be honest with you, when you appoint the judge as a fiduciary, it's his job to handle this paperwork. Attach the promissory note as well, and autograph and date the back of the promissory note like a check. I would get that stamped up too. I always do everything certified mail. Certified mail. Because once they sign for it, they sign for your contract. I wouldn't go to court no more after the sign. They cannot use your name without your permission. Send certified mail to the clerk of courts. Make sure it's sent to her name. Example, Jane Doe, doing business as a state county clerk. Then we'll send a copy to the federal district court, since they buy the bonds and child support is a federal grant. The state's attorney also, the attorney generals, they give back rights during a war. So that is like you versus your estate. Then I would send my 1099 OID process and send that to the IRS, the real court, which is the tax court. Then I would send copies to the SEC, the Security Exchange Commission, the Federal and Trade Commission, the General Service Administration, the GSA, the CFPB, whoever. And that's it. That's it. That's the child support game. Right there. Quick and easy like my ex-girlfriends. You follow me? It's that simple. It's that simple. But you got to understand, of course, they're going to try to hit you and see what you know. You know, enforce your claims. Always stand on your square. Understand that that name is now a business. When your name is a business, you can be anybody you want to be. How about you just stand in the right status and just say, hey, I'm the authorized rep, or I'm the manager, because it's legal and it's lawful and it's stamped by the Secretary of State. Can't nobody tell you who you are. They need you to agree to certain positions. I need you to understand that. They need you to agree to certain positions. You think you're that name. There's no difference between that name being called in commerce than the name Walgreens. And that's what I was trying to put into play. If Walgreens is selling crack cocaine, Walgreens is not going to jail. Walgreens might get shut down in 30 days if they don't cease and desist when they get that cease and desist letter from the government. But if Pookie down the street is selling crack, Pookie is going to jail with his black ass. You follow me? But if Pookie made Pookie LLC and Pookie LLC is serving crack, then Pookie LLC will have to cease and desist because it's a limited liability company. Do you understand? I'm just saying, think about it. Everything is business. You think you're the name. With that, I'm out, man. If you find this information valuable, you already know what to do. Leave a donation. The Cash App is THEDONKILAM. 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 Click the link in the description box below. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, and share to at least 3 to 4 people that you know that's in this situation, because you know people that's in this situation. With that, I'm out. Peace.